On the opening night of the 2022-23 season, the Warriors received their 2022 NBA championship ring, and man, it looks pretty awesome. So that made me wonder, how does this ring stack up against the other championship rings? Well, today I'll be ranking every NBA championship ring from worst to best, all the way back until 1983. This is because before 1983, all the rings looked very similar to one another, and also for time purposes, I don't want the video to be too long. So I think 1983 is a good cutoff because it puts us at exactly 40 rings to rank. I was not the first to make this video. Huge shout out to Max Waximus for making this video originally. Make sure to check out his channel, the link is in the description. And also feel free to check out my video where I rank all the Super Bowl rings. Other than that, let's get right into this video and rank these rings. Starting off the list at number 40, we have the oldest ring, and that is the Philadelphia 76ers ring in 1983. Obviously, as time goes on, the technology to make rings improves, which is why you'll see a lot of the newer rings closer to the top and older rings at the bottom. I wouldn't say this ring is bad, but stacked up against the more developed rings, this ring is very simple and deserving of the 40th spot. At number 39, taking a step up from the last ring, is the 1988 Lakers ring. Once again, a pretty simple design, but unlike the previous ring, the center purple of the Lakers is surrounded by a ring of diamonds, so there's a little bit more detail on this ring. Once again though, the simplicity doesn't stack up against the later rings on this list. At number 38, we have the 1990 Detroit Pistons ring. This is the last ring to follow the format of a diamond in the center, surrounded by the hard coloring of the team. And personally, I think it's the most clean looking one, especially considering that the diamond in the center has a more intricate border around it, making it the best out of this style of ring. At number 37, we have the 1987 Lakers ring. The 5 diamonds represent that this was the 5th ring won in the actual city of LA, not Minneapolis. And I enjoy the symbolism of the ring, but past that, there isn't too much else this ring has to offer, with the very little coloring. But as you can see, the rings in quality are getting better. At number 36, we have the 1985 Lakers ring, and this is the first ring to feature the Larry O'Brien trophy as the centerpiece, which I think looks pretty nice. They also have the purple stone in the background, which nicely backs up the trophy, and this ring was pretty good for its age. At number 35, we have the ring from the previous year, and this is the 1984 Celtics ring. This is one of the first rings to sponsor a logo on the front of the ring, and I like the simplicity of the clover backing up the diamond in the center. Not too detailed, but a clean ring nonetheless. The Celtics ring 2 years later takes the number 34 spot, and this ring is pretty much just a step up from the previous ring. Obviously, instead of the diamond being in the center, it's the Larry O'Brien trophy with the diamond, which is a little bit more detailed, and I like the look of it better. At number 33, we have the 1992 Bulls ring, which doesn't look bad. It's a pretty clean ring. However, I wish there was more detail or representation of the Bulls team besides the word Bulls on the front of the ring. I do like how the front of the ring is meant to resemble a stadium, but if you were to look at this ring, there'd be no way to tell that the Bulls just won their 2nd ring in a row. Nonetheless, a solid ring. At number 32, we have the Pistons' first ring that they won in 1989. This ring is much better than their 2nd ring, as for some reason it's more detailed even though it was made earlier. It's very similar to the Celtics ring with the clover and the Larry O'Brien trophy, however this one is just done better. I feel like the logo behind the trophy looks better, and I also like how the diamond is sticking out of the ring, giving the ring a 3D type aspect. At number 31, we have the 1996 Bulls ring, and as you can see, this is their 4th ring, clearly by the 4 Larry O'Brien trophies in the center of the ring. Besides the major flex that they won 4 rings in a span of 6 years, the ring outside of that isn't too detailed, but I still think this overall is a good ring. At number 30, we have the 1999 Spurs ring. This ring is very similar to the previous ring, except instead of the 4 Larry O'Brien trophies, it is the Spurs logo. I do think it's a slight improvement, and generally the ring looks cleaner as a whole, which is why it one-ups the previous ring. At number 29, we have the 2006 Miami Heat ring. I had a tough time choosing between this one and the 99 Spurs ring. However, I barely chose this one due to the fact that it is slightly more detailed, along with I think that it barely looks nicer overall. The one thing the Spurs ring has on is that I prefer rings that use the logo instead of the Larry O'Brien trophy, but nonetheless, this ring barely edges out the previous ring. At number 28, we have the Lakers ring from 2000. I really enjoy the Lakers font in the center with the purple on it, and I think the textured diamonds in the center surrounding the font looks really nice too. It's a very simple ring, but it doesn't do too much to turn away the viewer. At number 27, we have another Spurs ring, and this is the one from 2003. I think this one looks slightly better, and I like the simplicity of it as well. There's a bunch of diamonds over the face of the ring. However, the black outline nicely breaks up the logo from the ring itself. And I think this overall is a pretty clean ring. At number 26, we have yet again another Spurs ring, and this is the one from the 2007 season. This one looks really clean with a diamond border around the very detailed Spurs logo, and I enjoy it very much. My main thing is that the design isn't too different from the one before. It just looks slightly more detailed because obviously it's 4 years later, meaning there's slightly better technology to develop these rings. But for a whole different ring, I'd expect some other design to kind of differentiate the two. But if we're looking at this ring on its own, it's a very good ring. At number 25, we have the Rockets ring from 1994. This is their first ring, and I really enjoy how great this ring is for the time it was made. The Rockets logo in the center looks very good, and I like the diamonds surrounding the Rockets logo. A very underrated ring in my opinion. At number 24, we have a pretty simple ring, and this is the Lakers 2001 ring. I like how it doesn't do too much, and it has the 2 Larry O'Brien trophies on the front, representing their two-peat, obviously since they won in 2000 and now 2001. It could use some Lakers purple or maybe a little bit of their logo, but either way, this is a pretty good ring. At number 23, we have the Bulls 1998 ring, which as you can see is their 6th ring due to the fact that they have the giant Larry O'Brien trophy with the 5 other Larry O'Brien trophies inside of that trophy. That was a mouthful. I do like this ring. I do think it would benefit largely though if they added some color red. And also one thing that I find a little odd, but a little cool at the same time, is how the entire outline of the Larry O'Brien trophy is sticking up from the ring if you notice the picture. Overall, a very good ring, but definitely not the Bulls' best ring. At number 22, we have the 1995 Rockets ring, their 2nd in a row, hence the reason they have the back-to-back Larry O'Brien trophies in the center of the ring. This is kind of like the previous Lakers logo where they also had 2 Larry O'Brien trophies, but these ones are much more detailed and much better looking, despite it being manufactured 6 years prior. I also like how the gold is textured behind the Larry O'Brien trophies instead of the standard diamonds, which really switches up the ring. This ring was way ahead of its time. At number 21, we have the 1997 Bulls ring. Now, I think the logo of the Bull looks awesome here. It's super detailed, way ahead of its time as far as logo design goes. However, they also made the shape of the ring the shape of the Bull logo, which kind of looks a little bit odd. I think it would have been better if it was a circular ring with this Bull logo on it. And also the fact that the ring besides the logo is kind of plain. But this logo really pushes this ring up to its spot. We have now reached the upper half of rings, where we have number 20, the first Bulls ring that they won in 1991. This ring once again looks awesome. Another very detailed bull, and I like the word Bulls in between the horns of the bull. Just the whole center of the ring looks great, and I like how simple it is, with the main subject on a black stone, which I'm pretty sure is onyx. Don't fact check me on that. I tried to find the answer, but I couldn't. But I believe that is onyx. Either way, whatever it is, it looks great. And then obviously the simple diamond border around the ring creates a very nice ring. At number 19, we have the Spurs' most unique ring, and this is their 2005 one. I like how they have obviously the team title Spurs, with the U being the Spurs logo, with the Larry O'Brien trophy in the back. Also, the ring of diamonds is meant to symbolize the stadium. And I think this ring is very done. It has a unique shape compared to the rest of the rings, but I think it works well in this case. We're definitely starting to get into the upper tier of rings here. At number 18, we have the 2008 Celtics ring. This ring is super clean, and I love the simplicity of it. However, it's also the simplicity of it that it's not higher up on this list. But what this ring does, it does very well. Obviously, the green emerald clover in the center looks super well done. And just the silver diamonds in the background are a very nice compliment. Nothing wrong with this ring, but it just needed to do a little bit more if it wanted to be any higher on this list. At number 17, we have the Lakers ring from 2009. This is just another really clean ring, and I love the design of the Lakers font over the Larry O'Brien trophy. The font and the diamonds around the ring are also a very cool touch. Once again, the one thing missing from this Laker ring is just a little bit of color, and that would really help benefit the ring, but once again, a pretty good ring. At number 16, we have the 2004 Pistons ring. Now this ring is just so clean. The font with the blue outline is perfect in the center, and the Larry O'Brien trophy perfectly breaks up the ring right in the center. The placement is great, and the ring really doesn't need to do too much else, putting it at number 16. At number 15, we have the 2010 Lakers ring, and man, I love the design of this ring. Obviously, the 2 Larry O'Brien trophies on the side represent the two-peat from the wins in the 2009 and 2010 season. But I love the outline of the golden basketball right in the center of the ring, with the beautiful Lakers font in the center. As is with the common theme of Lakers rings, they should be adding a little bit more Laker purple, but the design itself and the cleanness of this ring is really what puts it up here. At number 14, we have the Lakers' 14th ring, and that was the ring that they won in 2002. Now this honestly is probably the most unique ring out of all the NBA rings. They focus heavily on triangles, as you can see the 3 triangle diamonds representing their three-peat, as well as a beautiful amethyst triangle in the center. Now the reason they focus on triangles is obviously because they have 3 sides, which represents the 3 championships in a row from 2000, 2001, and 2002. And it also represents the triangle offense that the Lakers were notorious for running. I also like the font around the purple amethyst that says back to back to back. And they took a very bold step with this ring, but I think it definitely paid off. At number 13, we have the Spurs 2014 ring. This ring is just sharp. The colors mesh together nicely, and the Larry O'Brien trophy being gold really helps break this up and prevents this ring from being repetitive. That being said, there could be a little bit of color, but at the same time it is the Spurs, so there's not really color in their team's color scheme. So for what they had, they did a really good job on this ring. At number 12, we have the Heat ring from 2012. Now this ring has a very similar color scheme to the last one, except I think the black stone in the back helps break it up a little bit more. I also like what they did with the Larry O'Brien trophy a little bit better, how they put it inside the Miami Heat ring. I think that's very creative. And I just think that this ring slightly one-ups the Spurs ring. At number 11, we have the very next ring, and that's the Miami Heat's 2013 ring. Obviously, this was a two-peat, so they have the 2 Larry O'Brien trophies behind the Heat font. And I like this ring slightly better than the last one. This one really comes down to preference. I just think this ring looks much cleaner. The 2 Larry O'Brien trophies is more of a boast, and I actually really like the font and how the T is flaming up. But obviously, I definitely can see how someone would prefer the Heat logo with the 1 Larry O'Brien trophy in the back. Personally, though, I like this ring better. We are now in the top 10 rings, and coming in at number 10, we have a ring that is way ahead of its time, and is the 1993 Chicago Bulls ring. This centerpiece of the ring, the ruby detailed bull, is a thing of beauty. It's also outlined in gold, and as you can see, there's 3 gold ledges hanging onto the bull, representing the 3 rings. The textured diamond background is nice too, along with I like how the ring is kind of shaped like a shield. Besides the bull, there isn't too much, but this bull might be one of the coolest subjects that we see on a ring, putting this in the top 10. At number 9, we have the Mavericks 2011 ring. And this ring has one of the coolest designs, in my opinion, out of any NBA ring. The Mavericks logo in the center is just stunning. The ring around the logo made out of diamonds is also really beautiful. My one complaint on this ring is that there's just not enough blue. I know that parts of the logo are outlined in blue, but this ring would largely benefit from blue in some other areas. Other than that though, it's still clearly a top 10 ring. At number 8, we have the first Warriors ring of many, and that is their 2015 ring. This ring is just beautiful. The Golden Gate Bridge is nicely fitted into the middle ring, and the player numbers right above the bridge is also a really cool touch. It's just such a visually satisfying ring to look at. Once again, my problem is that there's not enough color, specifically the Warriors blue. Put that in a couple other areas and this ring is even better. At number 7, we have the Raptors ring from 2019. Now, I wish I could put this one higher because look at this thing. The detail on the front and the design is beautiful, with a Toronto skyline right behind the North banner, and then a Larry O'Brien trophy in the back. Similar to past rings, I'm going to say it again, I think this ring could use some extra color. I know it has the ruby surrounding the border, but I feel like there's other areas in which they could implement this red to colorize the ring even more. Overall, this ring is nearly flawless, and so are the remaining rings on this list, but they just do something a little bit more than this ring. At number 6, we have the Warriors ring in 2017. Now this is very similar to the ring a couple spots ago, however I think this ring nearly perfectly distributes its color. There's a great amount of blue, not only within the Golden Gate Bridge but also on the border. The yellow is prevalent in the gold throughout the ring, and the gold is broken up with beautiful white diamonds as well as a white border. And I slightly prefer the Larry O'Brien trophy behind the Golden Gate Bridge than the player numbers, and all that combined puts this ring at number 6. At number 5, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers ring from 2016. Just look at the front of this ring for a second. The design is flawless. The Cleveland Cavaliers logo, with instead of the sword poking through the middle, it's the Larry O'Brien trophy. The gold and the white are dispersed perfectly, and I love the sides of the rings that have the outline of Ohio. For what this ring offers you, it is perfect. At number 4, we have the 2020 Lakers ring. Visually, this ring is stunning, with the Lakers logo in the center, with the beautiful purple amethyst L. Also, there's a ring of amethyst surrounding that logo, and then gold and diamond throughout the rest of the ring. I do think they could have used a little bit less of the gold, However, the beauty of this ring is that you actually can open it up and it reveals the jersey of every single retired Lakers member, putting special emphasis on Kobe Bryant, who died earlier that year. There's also a mamba on the side of the ring right behind the player's jersey number. This ring not only is appealing, creative, but it also acts as a very heartwarming Kobe tribute. At number 3, we have the very recent 2022 Warriors ring. Now this ring also is beautiful. They continue with the theme of the Golden Gate Bridge with the player number, which I don't mind because it's such a sick design. I feel like they could have broken up the yellow a little bit more, but the reason this ring is so high on the list is the insane feature that you can actually spin the ring open and it reveals the amount of trophies each respective player has. For example, Curry has 4 rings, so he'd have 4 inside it. Andrew Wiggins only has 1 ring inside it. The creativity and features of this ring, along with just the generally pleasing look of it, is why it's up here at number 3. At number 2, we have my favorite Warriors ring, and that is the Warriors ring of 2018. This definitely is the most visually appealing of the rings. The coloring is great. I love all the blue sapphires in the middle of the ring, along with the player number and the Golden Gate Bridge. And I enjoy how on this one, they have a Larry O'Brien trophy on both sides, signifying the two-peat. What's also neat about this ring is that if you're not a fan of the coloring, you can actually flip the main cover of the ring to change it to a white ring instead. This ring has a lot of versatility, and I just think it's one of the better looking rings in general, putting it at number 2. And in my opinion, the best ring in NBA history is the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks ring. Just look at this for a second. The beautiful Bucks logo is perfectly executed, along with the Larry O'Brien trophy being perfectly fit in the back of the Buck, as well as the basketball part of the trophy being perfectly centered within the Bucks antlers. Obviously, the outside design is cool enough, but what's also cool is that you can take off the top of this ring, and underneath it reveals a lot of Milwaukee Bucks images and decals, as well as a QR code, and when you scan that QR code, it plays highlights of some of the best moments of the Milwaukee Bucks season. What's also neat is that the top of the ring can be made into a chain. So not only can you wear this as a ring on your finger, but you can also wear it as a necklace around you. This ring just does so much for me when it comes down to visuals, meaning, and extra features that in my mind puts this ring at number 1. Thank you everybody so much for watching today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. As always, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That'd help out a lot. Also, make sure to leave a comment down below on which ring is your favorite, or maybe your top 5 favorite rings. I'm definitely curious to see what you guys say. But yeah, that will conclude this video, guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next Heaps video.